Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 10.38. Chapter name is Factory Overhead Variance. Several previous questions have been solved. Their lectures are available in the same channel. And we have solved those questions according to our format, and still we are at 38 and we are using the same format which was used for the first question. The only twist we see is the variation in the question. You can see the view of the question is telling that it's little different question. A lot of requirements we do have. Normally there are only three requirements. There are only three targets which we have to achieve is to calculate the three variances: total variance, budget variance, and volume variance. But now here there is a twist, and several other requirements are also needed to be calculated. But still, I'm stating it that same format would be used to calculate everything. Like what we used to have is our first calculation. We calculate total variance over here, which is relationship between actual FH and applied FH. Then you calculate your variance, which is the difference between actual and applied FH. Finally, you conclude by focusing upon applied FH. So if applied FH is more than actual FH, you consider it over applied, and if applied FH is less than actual, so you consider it as under applied. So as you can see that everything is similar. Same variances would be calculated, same supporting calculations would be made. Second requirement which we will complete is our budget variance, and the third requirement which would be made is volume variance. The third requirement, volume capacity or idle variance. For the time being, we are stopping to write these formulas as questions requirement is little different, though the view is suggesting. That is why we will see what requirements are present in our question. Normal capacity 90,000, expected 72,000. At this expected actual capacity, variable, fixed, actual result 75,000. Since these are splitted information, so we can arrange these information according to our requirement. The first thing we have observed that there are two types of information given in the question. First is everything is given according to expected capacity. Don't know what is happening. Expected hours or capacity. And second requirement which we are looking at is information is given according to normal capacity. Hopefully you have observed it. So what we are going to do, we will arrange this information according to expected and normal capacity. Our format is still vacant. We are waiting to put amounts over here according to requirement of the question. So let's go back to the question and see that normal capacity is 92,000 labor hours. So first of all, normal hours are mentioned, which is 90,000, and the next thing which they are following is to see expected level just completed was 72,000. Although hours are not mentioned over here, it's a mistake in the question. So hours were supposed to be written over here, but as sequence we are taking it as hours. So normal hours are given over here and they are 72,000. Okay, and next thing is what? Expected actual. At this expected actual capacity, they are using the word expected. The variable expenses are 54,000. So we will go to the expected side and we'll see variable expense or cost is a better word. Variable cost is mentioned as 36,000. Variable expenses 54,000. So we are going to write 54,000 over here. And the next thing which is mentioned over here, fixed expenses are 36,000. So we are going to put 36,000 as fixed cost for expected. And the next thing is actual result shows 75,000 hours are worked during the year. So here expected, here normal capacity, and now we will see there is another format which has been discussed is actual capacity, and actual hours are mentioned over here and they are actual hours are 75,000. Okay, so we are going to put 75,000 hours over here. There might be a question in your mind why we are doing this when everything is written in the question. Look, to proceed to the next steps, it is very important to separate expected, normal and actual capacity. Otherwise, it would be little difficult for you to segregate these segments. Next thing is predetermined overhead rate based on normal capacity. Okay, so now we have seen our requirement. The first requirement is to calculate applied FH rate is needed, and you have an idea of formula. How do you calculate applied FH rate? It includes fixed FH rate and then we do add variable FH rate. Fixed FH rate, how do we calculate? We take fixed FH and then we divide it with, since we are using expected capacity, so here we will use expected hours. This is formula for fixed FH rate. Then variable FH rate would be calculated by variable FH and it is going to be divided by expected hours over here. So in this way, two rates would be calculated, fixed FH rate and variable FH rate. Formulas are clarified over here. Now it's time to put them on. Now look, it's so easy. Everything is mentioned over here. Instead of going up and down and up and down, we can see the amounts and directly put over here. So fixed cost is 36,000. Okay, bracket is important, 36,000, and it would be divided by expected hours, expected normal hours. No, these are not normal hours, these are expected hours. As we have clarified it, there are two different categories. So this is expected hours, and how much? Expected hours 90,000. So you can put 90,000 over here. Let it be checked again if expected hours The expected hours 72,000, normal capacity is 90,000. Okay, let it be cleared. Expected hours 72,000 and normal hours 90,000. Hopefully you can take it. It happens sometimes. Again, normal hours 90,000, expected hours 72,000. So expected hours are 72,000. We are going to put over here. Sometimes it happens, things are overlooked, but thankfully we have observed in the given time. Instead of calculating everything and by observing answer, we could have known that, but that was not a good thing. Okay, fixed FH was divided by expected hours, fixed FH divided by expected hours, and now variable FH. Variable is also mentioned 54,000. You can see it is becoming easier when you will segregate all two informations, all three informations are segregated whatever was given in the question. Variable FH would be divided by expected hours. Here expected hours 72,000, bracket close. Separately we will calculate it. Here I am doing the rough work. First is we will follow this 36,000. 36,000 is divided by 72,000 and you will get your fixed FH rate. That is 0.5. You can put over here 0.5 and then you need to add variable FH rate. Its working would be done over here. We are following now this bracket 54,000 and it would be divided by 72,000. So we have got our variable FH rate. So in this way 0.75. Both rates are calculated over here. First rate is fixed FH rate and then we have variable FH rate. By adding both we can get total applied FH rate, but keep it in mind since we have used expected capacity, so rate would be called applied FH rate based on expected capacity. It's time to add both 0.5 and it would be added in 0.75. So here we have got our expected rate. Calculations completed. One rate has been calculated. Now please read it down. First is applied FH rate based upon expected capacity. This has been completed in this way and little more space we are creating over here. Second requirement, but let's check it out the answer. Our answer for expected capacity is 1.25. Requirement is starting over here. Second requirement was predetermined FH rate based on expected capacity, and we have done second part first, and after this we will solve first requirement as well. So we'll have to see the second answer. You can see second answer is 1.25 and what we have calculated is also 1.25. So first rate has been calculated. Now we are going to solve our first part, which is saying predetermined factory overhead rate based on normal capacity. Whatever we have done over here, it was according to expected capacity, and now we will be calculating the same thing according to normal capacity. So our second requirement is to calculate applied FH rate, but it would be based on normal capacity. Keep it in your mind. Again, this has two dimensions, fixed FH rate, and then we will add variable FH rate. While fixed FH rate has a formula, fixed FH would be divided by Please need your attention. Here it was expected capacity, so you have divided fixed FH by expected hours. Now we are calculating rate according to normal capacity. So here you will write normal hours. Okay, bracket would be closed, and then we need to have variable FH rate, and formula has been mentioned. Again, variable FH would be divided by normal hours. It's time to put the amount. Here you can see fixed FH is not written, variable FH is not written, but we have an idea. Fixed FH would always be similar. Either you are working for 72,000 hours or you are working for 90,000 hours, your fixed FH would always be similar. So fixed FH for 72,000 hours was 36,000, and it would be similar 36,000 for normal capacity as well. Now we need to have variable FH. For this we will have to think about. As you know that when you will increase your hours from 72,000 to 90,000, your variable FH would be changed. For that, please remember we have a desi formula to calculate new variable cost. For that, what we will do, old variable cost would be divided by old hours, and we will be multiplying it with new hours. In this way, we can calculate our new variable cost. You can see here we have old variable cost, and old hours are also present. We will take it as old hours. 54,000 variable cost, and divided by old hours. Expected hours were 72,000, and we need to calculate according to normal capacity. Hours are 90,000. So you can multiply it with 90,000. In this way, we have completed our statement. Please note it down carefully. What actually we have done, old variable cost, that means what already was present. Here variable cost for expected capacity was present, we have put over here. For this, hours were 72,000, we have put here. But what we were requiring is to have variable cost according to 90,000 hours. So new hours are 90,000. In this way our statement has been completed. Now we can put it on our calculator. 54,000 divided by 72,000, and it would be multiplied by 90,000. So we have got our new variable cost, which is 67,500. You can put over here. So requirements completed. Now we can put it on our statement over here. Fixed FH, look at here, 36,000. Write down 36,000. It would be divided by normal hours. Normal hours 90,000. Close your bracket. Fixed FH formula statement completed. Now we will write variable FH statement. So variable FH is 67,500, and it would be divided by normal hours 90,000. Okay, 90,000 normal hours. Statement has been completed. As you know what we have done, we have calculated fixed and variable rate over here. In the similar way, half part of this question will be solved. This is rough working, and what we are going to do, 36,000 is going to be divided by 90,000. So we have got our fixed FH rate. Now variable FH rate, we will be following second part of this statement. 67,500 and divided by 90,000. So we have got our variable FH rate as well. It's time to put them over here. Both calculations are according to their respective hours. So fixed FH was calculated 0.4, and then we will add second rate, variable FH rate. We have calculated over here 0.75. In this way both rates have been calculated. If you will add we will get our applied FH rate again, but depending upon normal capacity. It's time to put it on calculator. 0.4 and then add 0.75. So in this way our calculations have been completed. Applied FH rate 1.15, applied FH rate 1.25. But what is the difference? Difference is written over here according to expected capacity and according to normal capacity. Let's check out the answer. First was FH rate normal capacity, that is 1.15, and what we have calculated is 1.15. This is our first part and this is our second part. Both rates have been calculated. We can now proceed to next requirement. The amount of factory overhead applied to production if company used, here you can see factory overhead applied is required to be calculated. Use the normal capacity. We can use format over here. You can calculate applied FH over here, but instead of here we are going to calculate at this place. Let me change the font size because it is little smaller and vision is not proper over here, so we can change. I think 16 would be enough. Okay, so right up till now we have calculated the rates, and now third requirement we are going to complete, which is applied FH. Look, very clear it is. Applied FH rate is different and applied FH is different. This has a single line formula. What we usually do, actual hours would be multiplied by applied FH rate. Since here we are doing according to expected capacity, we can separate this thing so that you can understand there are two parallel calculations we are doing over here. Little more space is needed to be made. Little more space. Okay. So now we are needed to calculate applied FH, but first we will see which capacity he wants us to use. Amount of factory overhead applied to production if normal capacity is used. Amount of factory overhead applied to the production if expected capacity is used. So in both cases we will be calculating applied FH. Here third requirement is to calculate applied FH according to normal capacity, and here there would be fourth requirement, which is applied FH according to expected capacity. Formulas are same. Here we will use actual hours and it would be multiplied by applied FH rate. The only difference would be here you will use expected and normal capacities in different ways. So let's check it out. First we will solve third question. Actual hours in normal capacity is already mentioned. Normal hours are 90,000. So we can put 90,000 over here, and it is needed to be multiplied by applied FH rate. Here applied FH rate was calculated 1.15, and that's all. We have calculated applied FH, statement completed. Now put it on calculator. 90,000 is multiplied by 1.15. 1.15. So 103,500. This was, I think, third requirement. Amount of factory overhead applied to production if the normal capacity overhead rate are used. So we have calculated applied FH rate 90,000, 1.15 normal hours were used, the amount of factory overhead applied to production if company used normal capacity rates. Overhead applied. So we are doing the same thing. Applied FH 90,000 hours and applied FH rate is 1.15. We have put the same 90,000 multiplied by 1.15. Okay. Now we are going to calculate applied FH according to expected capacity. You can see over here your hours, expected hours 72,000. So you can put 72,000 over here, and it would be multiplied by applied FH rate, which we have calculated is 1.25. So you can put 1.25 over here. Calculations completed. It's time to put on calculator. 72,000 multiplied by 1.25. So we have our applied FH again, fourth and fifth point. Next is variance computation to show whether there would be a favorable ideal capacity variance if the normal capacity rate were used. Again, we are going to calculate. Let it be seen what next calculations are. Number 3. Amount of factory overhead applied to the production if company used. Okay, here something is missing. Amount of factory overhead applied is written, but not the word actual has been used. So we were supposed to calculate actual, applied FH rate based on actual hours. We will go to the question. You can see actual results are showing 75,000 hours. So here these were old rates. Now we are using new rates. 75,000 would be used over here. Let it be done again. 75,000. 93,750 Okay, fourth answer was based upon expected actual capacity. Expected actual capacity. So fourth answer is 93,750 and our answer is 93,750. In the similar way, actual hours were 75,000 and we are going to put over here 75,000. You can see that a word was missing which misleaded 75,000. Now third answer is 86250. Let it be checked. Third answer 86250. So both answers are now matched. Since statement was misleading, now we have rectified it. 75,000 are actual hours, applied FH rate according to expected capacity 1.25. So third and fourth requirement are also completed. We will now see what fifth requirement is saying. Variance computation. We do have three variances: total variance, budget variance and volume variance. What variance they are talking about? Where there would be a favorable ideal capacity variance. So they are asking to calculate capacity variance if normal capacity rate are used. So again two variances would be calculated. You can see over here in fifth and sixth requirement we need to calculate variance, and that is ideal capacity. If normal rates are used and if expected rates are used. In third and fourth, they haven't used the word actual. If company used normal capacity, if company used expected, here you can see normal capacity was written. And in fifth and sixth, it is very clear they want to calculate volume variance if normal capacity, volume variance if expected capacity is used. So now we are calculating fifth requirement. Over here we need to calculate volume variance and you have formula in your mind, we need to have budget FH and then applied FH. We will get variance over here by taking the difference between budget and applied FH. Then we will conclude depending upon budget FH. So if budget FH is more than applied FH, we will conclude it as unfavorable. And similarly, if budget FH is less than applied FH, then it would be considered favorable. Favorable. Now, hopefully you remember these things we have discussed for so many times. Now come over here. We have applied FH in our minds, which was calculated in number 3 over here. For calculating volume variance, we need budget FH, and we will calculate first budget FH. And how do you calculate budget FH? It has two line formula. Actual hours would be multiplied by variable FH rate, and then you will add fixed FH. Since it has two line formula, so we will complete it accordingly. What is this? And you will be writing over here. Oh bhai, we do not need it. Let it be off. Fixed FH. What we are doing, we are calculating budget FH. Why? Because we do need to calculate volume variance, for which budget FH should be present. Since we are now on actual basis, 75,000 are actual hours mentioned over here. 75,000, we need to multiply it variable FH rate, which has already been calculated. You can see second part, variable FH rate. Okay, second part was variable FH rate, which was 0.75. So we can put 0.75 over here. Fixed FH is already mentioned, 36,000. So you can write fixed FH 36,000 over here, and calculation of this statement 75,000, it would be multiplied by 0.75. So we have both statements and we need to add both of the answers to get budget FH. First is 5625, then add 36,000, we have got our budget FH. Everything is similar, but just for today we are not using format. As you can see that we stopped writing over here because there are so many volume variances, so many applied FHs, and there are two capacities used. So instead of mixing everything over there, what we have done, we have segregated and separated these things, divided into two parts, where one part is used for normal capacity and other part is used for expected capacity. Okay, we are achieving our target. We needed to calculate volume variance, for which budget FH was needed. We immediately calculated budget FH, which is 92250. We can put over here. Amount of budget FH was calculated at this point, which is highlighted. And we need to have applied FH. You can see applied FH was calculated over here and amount is 86250. We can put over here. Now it's time to calculate the volume variance, which is relation between budget and applied FH. Our budget FH is 92250 and we need to subtract applied FH, which is 86250. So we have got our volume variance, and which capacity we are using? Normal capacity. Let's see what part it was. Variance. If normal capacity use is fifth part is answer is 6000. And what we have calculated is also 6000. It's time to conclude over here. Depending upon budget was 9, applied was 8, budget was more, so it would be considered unfavorable volume variance 6000. And let's check out the answer. It is written favorable over here. No, not possible, because your budget FH is 92, applied FH is less, budget is more. So as the rule saying budget, if it is more, unfavorable. So it is unfavorable, you can erase it and you can write is unfavorable over here. Sometimes typographical mistakes are also possible in the books as well. This side is completed. Normal capacity, you can see here, first heading was normal capacity. We have calculated applied FH rate, but according to normal capacity. We have calculated applied FH, but depending upon normal capacity. Then we have calculated volume variance, but dependent upon normal capacity. And similarly, we have calculated budget FH, but according to normal capacity. The right side of this whole page is for normal capacity, and this is your left page. Everything is calculated according to expected capacity. So that is why we have segregated and changed the format just for this question. Now we are up to sixth requirement, where we need to calculate our volume variance. Volume variance is relationship between budget FH and applied FH. Here we will calculate the variance, which is difference between budget and applied, and finally we will conclude this variance. How? Depending upon budget. So if our budget FH is more than applied FH, if budget is more, we will consider it unfavorable. In case if budget FH is less than applied FH, budget is less, that would be favorable for you. So in this way we will conclude the variance which we are going to calculate. Here we need budget FH and applied FH. Since we have calculated budget FH, but that was according to normal capacity. So here we will calculate our new budget FH, but according to expected capacity. Budget FH formula is actual hours multiplied by the applied FH rate, and then you need to add fixed FH over here. So in this way we can calculate our budget FH. It's time to put the values over here. Actual hours 75,000. As you can see at extreme right side, we have written actual capacity 75,000. So we are using same actual capacity over here 75,000, and then we need to multiply it with applied FH rate. Rate we have calculated over here is 1.25. okay, so we can use the similar rate. Actual hours are a variable FH rate was needed to be put. 75,000 multiplied by variable FH rate. You will have to go little up, and you can see over here there were two parts, fixed FH rate and variable FH rate. Variable FH rate was calculated as 0.75, so you will be putting 0.75 over here. Fixed FH is same for every hour, 36,000 would be written over here. So as you can see, we were having 72,000 hours, we were having 90 hours, and we were having 75,000 hours. For every hour, your fixed FH was similar. You can see fixed FH for expected capacity 36,000, fixed FH for normal capacity 36,000, and actual capacity is fixed FH for actual capacity is also 36,000. Now statement was completed. We can calculate its amount 75,000, and it would be multiplied by 0.75 over here. In this way we have completed our calculations. Now it's time to calculate the budget FH. In total, two amounts would be added, 56,250 add 36,000. We have calculated budget FH. Look the similar way, but this budget FH was according to normal capacity and this budget is according to expected capacity. Since we have written above, but let's mention it, expected capacity was used over here, and this budget FH was calculated according to normal capacity. This was the difference. It's so interesting to calculate such questions to get your brain exercised. Budget FH calculated according to expected, budget FH according to normal capacity. Now we are open to calculate our volume variance, where two elements were needed. First, budget FH. Here you can see you have calculated your budget FH. Total answer was 92250. You can put over here. Second element required was applied FH, and above you can see applied FH was already calculated. Answer was matched. It was 93750. So both elements have been calculated. It's time to calculate our volume variance, which is a relationship between budget FH and applied FH. So our applied FH was 93750. Since we are subject to calculate the difference between budget and applied FH, to calculate the difference we will subtract second element budget FH 92250. So we have got our answer 1500. Variance has been calculated. It's time to conclude by depending upon and focusing upon budget. Budget was 92, applied was 93. So budget was less. It means it is favorable. Our conclusion would be favorable volume variance we have calculated, that is 1500. It is sixth answer. So you can see sixth answer is 1500 and favorable. Now it's not misprinted, everything is okay. Favorable volume variance 1500 and favorable volume variance 1500. Okay, we have calculated all the requirements. Now you can see first requirement 1.15. From here we have started. First requirement was completed. 1.15 was written over here, and then second requirement 1.25, second requirement 1.25. There was a little missed numbers. Let me check again. One was 1.15. So it was our first requirement, and here was our second requirement. Okay, and next was third requirement 86250. So here third requirement 86250. Reviewing is very important so that we are going to be satisfied that everything has been completed. Fourth answer 93750. Fourth answer 93750. Fifth answer 6000. So here is your fifth answer 6000, and sixth answer 1500. This is your sixth answer 1500. All six answers are matched. All six answers are verified. So Usually I share with my student that these lectures are absolutely live. No pause is given, no recording are made, no rectification, no changes. Everything is alive. Whatever I'm doing right now, you are observing and viewing the same thing. So as you can see, all answers are matched. Though due to typographical mispresentation in the question, we have to change few things. Otherwise, no rectification has been made, no changes have been made, and all answers are matched, thankfully. So I'm just wishing when my students are working over here, they are doing in the same way, confidently, cool and calm, without any exaggeration, without any anxiety, without any pressure. I'm hoping that my students are going to solve this question as well. So time for 10.38 has been ended. We have matched everything, but even then, if you have any problem, any query, any question regarding the solution of this problem, you are very open to text messages. You can directly meet to solve your problems. Time for 38 has been ended. We will surely be meeting for the solution of any other question in future as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.